Well, good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us for this exciting announcement today. Thank you to the Canadian Centre for Product Validation for hosting us. This is a truly unique facility, and I invite everyone to check it out this morning. My name is Kapil Lakodia, and I'm the President of London Economic Development Corporation. Over the past several years, the London region has built a strong reputation for being a major food and beverage processing hub. Our strategic plan focused on building the right infrastructure, talent pool, and supply chains to attract food and beverage processors. This is why the City of London has invested in industrial lands. We partnered with Fanshawe College to create skills training programs, and we worked with federal and provincial partners who share our common goal of growing London's food industry. So today, we're excited to announce the arrival of one of Canada's leading consumer protein companies, Maple Leaf Foods. With sales of over $3 billion and employing over 11,000 people across Canada and the United States, we are thrilled that they have chosen London for their new facility. We're delighted to be joined by Mr. Michael McCain, President and CEO of Maple Leaf Foods. Michael and his team are deeply committed to being the global leader in sustainable protein and advancing nutrition, animal care, environmental sustainability, and food security. Being an Ivy grad, Michael already has ties to London that are getting stronger today as a result of this investment. Please give a warm London welcome to Mr. Michael McCain.
Thank you, and thank you all for coming here today. This is a great day. It's a pleasure to share the stage today with the Honourable Lawrence Macaulay, with the Honourable Ford, His Worship Mayor Matt Brown, and Ed Benjamin, the Chair of the Chicken Farmers of Ontario, on such an important occasion. We're also pleased to be able to meet some of our future neighbours here in London. And as Kapil said, I do have a long history of attachment to the City of London, being a graduate from the University of Western Ontario, now Western University, and one of the very few people who can say that all 5 of my children also graduated from Western, so all 5. So we have some attachment to this area, and it's very important to us. I want to begin by thanking Kapil for all of his great work in the London Economic Development Corporation. Your ongoing efforts have been instrumental in bringing this investment to the City of London. Thank you for your perseverance and support, because it was a journey. It's been a pleasure to work with you and your team, and we look forward to going from planning to action in this important project. So late yesterday afternoon, we announced our plans to build a world-class, technology-advanced poultry facility that will deliver tremendous benefits for the City of London, for Ontario, and for the future of the Canadian food industry. London is indeed an important agricultural area and home to many of Canada's chicken farmers. As you know, we are here to talk about chicken. Fresh poultry is the #1 meat consumed by Canadians and continues to grow in popularity, with 86% of shoppers across this country preparing chicken at home at least once a week. Maple Leafs Prime, Raised Without Antibiotics, and Mina lead the country as brands that meet the quality and social needs that are important to Canadian consumers. But what we've discovered in the last few years is that actually Canadians want more from the food that they consume. Besides great taste and convenience at good value, they want safe and nutritious food. They want food from animals raised with care and minimal use of antibiotics. They want their food to be made sustainably, with less impact on climate change and conserving water and energy. And they place the greatest trust in the food grown and produced right here in their backyard. 90% of chicken in Canada today is raised on family farms, which follow animal care standards that are amongst the best in the world. Chicken is also one of the most sustainable meats, which has a much lower environmental footprint than any other animal protein. As you can see, I love chicken. With a capital investment here in London of $660 million and related costs of $140 million on top of that, this leading-edge facility will represent the largest single-site investment ever in the Canadian food industry history, ever. I would like to deeply thank the federal and provincial government for their support towards a strong and competitive poultry sector here in Canada. This includes a $34 million investment from the Government of Ontario and a $28 million investment from the Government of Canada. Investing in this way is integral to the Canadian economy to maintain long-term competitiveness and productivity growth. Such investments will be aided by important tax policy changes announced last week that allow for faster depreciation of capital investment for the benefit of all manufacturers, jobs, and the economy. As part of the federal agreement, Maple Leaf will invest an additional $5 million over the next 5 years on projects that accelerate adoption of advanced manufacturing technologies and support our goal to reduce our environmental footprint by 50%. These agreements take a huge amount of diligence to develop and undertake, and we are extremely appreciative of the work and patience involved by many people at the federal, provincial, and municipal levels. This result is a milestone, a genuine milestone for Canada's farming and food sectors. Along with the Maple Leaf contribution, these investments will support the livelihood of Ontario chicken farmers and secure a vibrant future for value-added poultry processing. It will enable us to competitively meet continuing demand and growth in demand for value-added fresh chicken and high-quality food products made right here in Canada. The new 640,000 square foot facility will be one of the most efficient, the most technologically advanced of its kind anywhere in the world. And we know that because we traveled the entire globe in search of best practices. It will incorporate leading process flow design, technologies and practices in food and workplace safety and environmental sustainability. It will utilize world-class food processing, heat and water conservation and recovery systems, and our goal is to make this a zero-waste to landfill facility. We are investing in advanced animal welfare technologies and processing, including temperature-controlled housing and humane processing. We are also significantly reducing transportation time by locating here in London in direct proximity to the chicken farmers that are concentrated in this area. The project is expected to initially create 1,450 direct, full, and part-time jobs, which we expect to increase as production expands beyond that. In addition, it will support over 300 construction jobs and a further 1,400 indirect jobs in services and supplies. We expect that it will generate $1.2 billion a year in annual economic activity once the facility is fully operational. We plan to begin the construction of this plant in the spring of 2019, one very short winter from now, with the plant starting up approximately 2 years later. While this will result in the eventual closure of 3 existing subscale plants, we are communicating that decision, as we always do, very early in the process so our people can fully be supported during a lengthy transition period. We deeply regret the impact on our people that are affected in this way and will actively encourage them to seek opportunities in our other facilities throughout the GTA and here in London, where we will need their skill and their experience. We are committed to being good neighbors Fundamental to this is meeting the highest standards of environmental and operational excellence. This facility has been over 90% design engineered at this moment and will utilize global technologies that will make it a showpiece. We have also deeply valued open communication in our history, and this means keeping people informed of the work as it proceeds and after the plant is operational. We are doing a neighborhood information drop today and plan to host an open house in the coming weeks to provide more information on the project for our neighbors. Maple Leaf Foods has a long history in this country. We make many household brands and are by far the largest producer of fresh and prepared meats in Canada. And we're a North American leader in the fast-growing plant-based protein space. We have an exciting path of change. We have a vision to be the most sustainable protein company on earth. That's not a small thing. The most sustainable protein company in the world. And with all the focus and investment that entails, we are committed to raising the good in food from every dimension. This investment is a commitment to that vision. We're excited to be part of this great city of London, and we're even more excited to be creating a world-class food plant that we will all be immensely proud of. Thank you very much, and we hope you enjoy the morning.
Thank you very much, Michael. Investments of this caliber are only made possible because of all levels of government. FedDev Ontario, Innovation, Science and Economic Development Canada, the Ontario Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, and the City of London have been strong partners in securing this investment. Now, we're delighted to welcome some very special guests this morning who have helped bring this project to fruition. It is my pleasure to welcome the Honourable Lawrence Macaulay, Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food. Minister Macaulay is from St. Peters Bay, PEI, and was previously a farmer and businessman. His cabinet appointments include the Minister of Labour and the Solicitor General of Canada. Please join me in welcoming the Honourable Lawrence Macaulay.
Thank you very much, Capel. Thank you, Michael. I'm pleased to be here with you and the McCain people. Bonjour tout le monde. Pleasure to be with the Premier, my first meeting with him. Ernie Alderman, many times. He's telling me what to do so many times, and I do my best. Your Worship, pleasure to meet you. And Ed Holder, the new worship coming in. Ed and I served a number of years in Ottawa. Very pleased to have Peter Fragestiatis and Kate Young, my colleagues in the House of Commons. Pleasure to be here. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Maple Leaf Foods. We support the great work that you do to drive our economy and create jobs and opportunities for our farmers. Today's announcement comes at a key time. Last week, our government released our fall economic statement. It showed that our plan to strengthen the middle class and grow the economy is working. Across Canada, more Canadians are working, wages are growing, and the middle class Canadians have more money in their pockets. Canada's fall economic statement is the next step in our government plan. We're investing in long-term and investing in Canadians. We are supporting Canada's competitiveness so businesses can grow and prosper. Our government knows that Canadian farmers and processors are a key driver of our Canadian economy. The statement includes many measures to support continued growth. We responded to the sector leaders on key issues such as regulations, tax competitiveness, and increased market access for exports. We put in place an accelerated investment incentive which will allow businesses to write off a larger share of their costs toward capital assets such as buildings, machinery, and equipment. We also invested an additional $800 million in the Strategic Innovation Fund, which supports growth of our food and processors, and it's the source of funding for today's announcement. So with that, I'm pleased to announce that the federal investment in support of a strong manufacturing and agri-food sector here in London. Our government will invest $28 million to help Maple Leaf Foods move forward on a new chicken processing plant right here in London. The investment will also support the company's investment of over $700 million in new facilities that is scheduled to open in 2020. Maple Leaf Foods have cutting-edge technology that will be the first of its kind, I believe, Michael, in the world, and that you're to be proud of. $20 million of this investment comes from the Federal Strategic Investment Fund. The other $8 million come from Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada's Agro-Innovative Program. The investment will help Maple Leaf Foods design, test, and install new automated systems for the plant. The goal is to increase production and strengthen food security. As Maple Leaf Foods is well aware, food security and safe food are vital in this country and worldwide. And that is always good news for our consumers, whether they're here in Ontario, across the country, or around the world. It's also good news for Ontario chicken farmers. Oh yes, the president of the Ontario chicken farmers is here. Big smile on him today. Should have. And it's also good news for Ontario workers. Thanks in part to our total federal investment of $28 million in this facility, Maple Leaf will create over 300 jobs in the construction, as Michael has indicated. It will also support just under 1,500 middle-class jobs while increasing opportunity. The Maple Leaf Foods have committed to hire another 48 co-op students every year, and that is a good deal because it trains students to work in this type of business. And I'm so pleased that you're doing that, Michael, and that Maple Leaf Foods are doing that. I want to thank everybody who made this possible. That includes my colleagues, Kate and Peter. Our federal investment of over $28 million will create more demand for our farmers. It demonstrates our continued support to our supply management system, and it helps create and keep good jobs right here in London. Together, workers and farmers in this area continue to produce the best food in the world, and we do. I too have the privilege of traveling the world, and it's so important, as Maple Leaf Foods understands so well. The regulatory process is so vitally important. You have to believe, know, and understand that if it's certified by CFIA, it is safe. Once again, congratulations to Maple Leaf Food. It's an honor to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Macaulay, for the federal government's support of this project. With over 60 food and beverage processing companies in London that employ more than 7,000 people, the London region is already recognized as a major hub for food and beverage processing. The province is further supporting our efforts to diversify our manufacturing sector by attracting leading food companies such as Maple Leaf. To tell us more about the province's commitment to this project, I would like to introduce a very special guest, the Honourable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.
So previously, Mr. Ford served as a Toronto City Councillor from 2010 to 2014 and was the Vice Chair of the Budget Committee. While on council, he served on the board of Build Toronto and on the Canadian National Exhibition. A dedicated community leader and a successful businessman with Deco labels, please welcome the Honourable Doug Ford.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Actually, you know something? I'm not even going to go with this speech. I give you all all these political words to say. I'm just going to tell it the way it is. Michael, congratulations. Maple Leaf and the McCain family have a rich history in this country, investing in great manufacturing jobs. Over the last 15 years, our province has seen 300,000 manufacturing jobs disappear in this province. Now we're reinvesting. We're telling the world that Ontario is open for business. I brought some of my all-star team with me, and Minister Ernie Hardeman, Jeff Urick, and Minister Monty McNaughton of Infrastructure. As he says, Minister of Good News, because he goes around cutting ribbons. My friends, I have a history with Maple Leaf Foods, and Michael probably doesn't even know. When I was 16 years old, I was working in the back during school, going to school, working in the back of Deco Labels, our factory. And my friend said, "Can you take me for a drive down to St. Clair Avenue?" I have an opportunity to get hired at a company at the time for Maple Leaf Foods, Canada Packers. So I thought, yeah, I drove him down there. I went into HR, and it just so happened the person in HR, we went to school with their daughter, and they said, "We're hiring students." Well, I got lucky enough, we both ended up getting hired. And it was the best job I ever had at Canada Packers, slugging me, 24 hours a week. That's what we could work for part-time. And I'll never forget, I was working at my dad's office. I think he was paying me $5 an hour. And then I went over to Maple Leaf Foods, and I ended up getting $12.49 an hour 38 years ago. And I thought I just died and went to heaven. So that was the best job, outside of this job, I ever had. But the investment in this facility, I want to congratulate the mayors of London and the great work that you're doing attracting food companies. As Michael was saying, it's not only the largest investment in the poultry industry, but the largest investment in food processing ever in Canada. That's why we put up the $34.5 million, creating great jobs and 1,450, I believe, jobs. But people don't realize that 1,400 jobs, or 1,450, they're spin-off jobs. There's spin-off jobs all throughout this community. There's suppliers, vendors. There's great vendors and suppliers that rely on companies like Maple Leaf Foods. But we have to make an environment, my friends, here in Ontario. When we say Ontario's open for business, we mean Ontario's open for business. And I want to congratulate my federal counterparts about accelerating the write-offs. I could never figure it out. We have a plant in Chicago and a plant in Toronto, and we'd be able to write our equipment off, new purchases. It encourages people and companies to invest in equipment. So congratulations, and I'll tell that to the Prime Minister. I think I'm seeing him next week. Good job. Remember, Doug Ford's telling the Liberals, good job. Anyways. But little things, getting rid of what I heard when I crisscrossed this province, my friends, about Bill 148. It was a job-killing bill. We ended up getting rid of Bill 148, making ourselves more competitive around the world. We had the highest hydro rates in North America. We have to lower the hydro rates. We committed to lowering them by 12% to be competitive. Everyone's been watching the TV, the USMCA deal. We aren't competing against John down the street any longer. We're competing against the United States, over in Asia, over in Europe, over in India. We have to be competitive. Remember, I said at the beginning, there's 300,000 jobs that left Ontario. The vast majority of them went to Michigan, went to Ohio, went to New York State. Those days are over. We're going to be investing in Ontario, making it thrive, being the engine of Canada once again, getting rid of the regulations. Regulations kill companies. We have 300. Just imagine this, and my counterpart can relate to this, and I'm sure it drives him crazy too. There's 380,000 regulations right here in Ontario. How do you operate a business with 380,000? And a lot of them are duplicated between the province and the federal government. So we'll be working closely with the federal government to knock off at least 25% of these regulations, because regulations is a job killer. We ended up lowering the corporate tax rate 11.5% down to 10.5%. And I want to acknowledge the person that helps us make this happen, Steve Orsini, Principal Secretary. I call him the Commander-in-Chief. You need anything done, Steve makes it happen. So it's great to see you here, Steve. And Michael, I wish you all the best. What an iconic company, iconic family. And people don't see the other side of the people behind Maple Leaf Foods, the McCain family. Constantly giving back to communities, helping people in need, more than any family I've ever met. So Michael, I thank you, I thank your family, and your father, your late father that started the company, Wallace McCain, incredible man. So ladies and gentlemen, I thank you today, and I look forward to coming back and cutting the ribbon. We're talking about the food industry, and I told Michael I haven't missed too many meals, as you can tell. So I love the food industry, the chicken farmers. I love the chicken farmers. You guys are champions, and you're in the country of chicken farmers here. Thank you, and all the best.
Thank you so much, Premier Ford. Maple Leaf Foods will establish this facility on a new 100-acre industrial site developed by the City of London along Wilton Grove Road, just south of the 401. Since 2001, our industrial lands development strategy has resulted in over 60 new advanced manufacturing companies that employ close to 6,000 people in the region. A special thanks to my colleagues at City Hall and our industrial lands development team that works tirelessly to bring these jobs and investments to fruition. And to highlight City Council's commitment for industrial development and job creation, I'd like to welcome His Worship, Mayor Matt Brown.
Well, thank you very much. And just before I begin my formal remarks, I want to recognize, as I always do, that this event, every event in London, takes place on the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, and that's defined within the pre-Confederation treaty known as the London Township Treaty of 1796. The area has also been home to the Haudenosaunee and the Lenni Lenape nations as well. So, I can't stop smiling today. And I have to say that this is an incredibly important day for our community and for our region. I know that I'm joined by Councillors Cassidy and Councillor Morgan. I'm not sure if we have any other city councillors here today. And also, of course, we have Mayor-elect Holder here. I was speaking to a family member over the weekend, and they said, so what's that last week of office going to be like? And Kapil, I want you to know I didn't even tell my family about this. And I said, well, we'll have to wait and see. They said, will it be kind of quiet? And I said, well, I'm not sure if it'll be that quiet. And here we are today. And I also have to say that last week, Mayor-elect Holder, to you and your incoming council, last week we announced the first act of the Junos. This week this, and you're very, very welcome. Welcome to Michael and your team from Maple Leaf Foods. Welcome, of course, Minister Macaulay, Premier Ford, Mr. President, and everyone here today. We are all, I am sure, thrilled to be here today as we welcome this extremely important announcement for our community. I would like to personally congratulate and thank Kapil and his team at the LEDC for your incredible hard work to make sure that we keep business here in town, to make sure that businesses are able to grow here in town, and to make sure that we're able to welcome new businesses like this to town. This has been a 3-year process for this team. Your dedication has resulted in a game changer in investment in our city. And I also see many, many city staff members here from a number of different departments. And the way that you work with the LEDC, hand in glove, quietly, without accolades, without the kinds of celebrations that we feel here at the front of the room, I have to say I can't thank you enough for your hard work and your dedication. You played a huge role in making this happen as well. Thank you very much. London is committed to world-class infrastructure. It's paired with a robust industrial land strategy that puts London in a competitive position to attract investment of this magnitude. And I want to stop there for a second I want to talk about a contentious debate that we had at Council during the 2014-2018 term, and it was about making the right kinds of investments in our industrial land use strategy. And the majority of councillors saw the wisdom in doing that, in making investments so that we have land that is serviced and ready to go when a business like this comes looking for the ideal site. And it's because of that vision, and it's because of the risk that Council took. That's another reason why this is happening today. Thank you, Council. Our community offers shovel-ready, world-class land with, I think, geography as our greatest strength. Access to the U.S. border, our largest trading partner, over 150 million customers within a 24-hour drive. 2 Great Lakes within 1 hour of this community, as well as the 400 series highways, make this an ideal spot for this kind of business to open. Not to mention that we are in the agricultural center of Ontario, and it just makes sense to make an investment like this in this area for your businesses as well, for your farmers as well. I want everyone to know that we are committed to the future by partnering with our education institutions to develop and to keep talent here in London. It's not just an investment in this new incredible site. An investment like this is also an investment in the talent that resides right here in our community. And so to the federal government, to the provincial government, to all local partners that have been involved in this process, this is what partnership looks like. We can stand together and we can say, this is what makes investments happen, and we can tell people this is what's possible for London. There is a very, very impressive team of city staff and LEDC staff behind this phenomenal news, and I'd once again like to offer them my sincerest congratulations. To Michael and to the team at Maple Leaf Foods, welcome to London. I think you're pretty familiar with the community, and I know that you're going to thrive here. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Brown. Needless to say, food processing industries can only thrive with the support of our farming community. The chicken farmers of Ontario represent more than 1,300 farms to ensure that Ontario consumers enjoy reliable and high-quality chicken. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Ed Benjamin, Chair of the Chicken Farmers of Ontario.
Wow, good morning. They asked me, is it a good day for chicken? It's always a good day for chicken. And it's great to be here this morning celebrating Maple Leaf's investment in the Ontario chicken industry. I thank you for this opportunity to even talk to you and recognizing Maple Leaf's leadership and their innovation capabilities and their business foresight in this great venture. Like Maple Leaf, we believe that chicken protein is well positioned for the future in this country. Our vision as farmers is to be a growing, profitable, and sustainable supply-managed chicken industry. But with that, at CFO, we're also very aware of our responsibility to ensure that our industry and our business partners like Maple Leaf continue to thrive. Every day, over 1,100 Ontario chicken farmers grow and provide premium Ontario chicken to their processor customers. And as Michael has mentioned, we have some of the highest standards in the world, which our farmers are very proud of. We look at meeting those evolving needs as we go forward in this business, identifying and supplying new consumer needs as they evolve. Over 320 of our farmers today work directly with Maple Leaf Foods. Each of them is committed to growing chicken responsibly, to continually improve the quality of the product and the quality of the production practices that we have in our farms. Together, CFO farmer members and Maple Leaf Foods are pursuing responsible growth and shared success. I have great confidence that we can continue to grow our shared business and to make a lasting contribution to the Ontario and chicken economies. Congratulations to Maple Leaf and to you, Michael, on this great story today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. And thanks again to all our special guests. We appreciate you taking the time today to be with us for this historic investment. This ends the formal portion of today's announcement, but please join us for a small reception after.